All right, all right. I'm so excited as we continue this conversation. We're going to talk about the power of sisterhood. I'm Ty Beauchamp, your host today for New York Crown Day. There's been a groundswell of support for the Crown Act with these supporters of the Crown Coalition. Each of these organizations has been tremendously helpful in supporting the efforts all year long. So I'm excited to have join me today, Diane Bailey, who is the CEO of Emerge NBIA, the Natural Beauty Industry Alliance, and she has been working in the natural hair industry for over 30 years. Great to see you, Diane. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon over there. Exactly, I'm in LA. I'm not in New York, unfortunately. Also joining us is Danielle Brown, president of Jack and Jill of America, the largest Black family organization in the world. Great to see you, Danielle.
Great to be here.
Wonderful. Welcome, welcome. Also joining us is Alicia Spearman, Chair, Leadership Fellows Program, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Great to see you.
Thank you so much.
So we know that sisterhood has been such an important part of this journey, and each of your organizations have been supporting members of the Crown Coalition from the very beginning, since it started with the movement, correct? So I want to just frame that up because, again, I'm always happy to see dynamic Black women come together, and the power of sisterhood is just so dynamic. But why was it important for each of your organizations to support the Crown Act in our natural hair journey?
Well, for me, I've been in the natural hair care industry for over 35, 40 years. So wow. It was a natural component. It was just an easy ride. It was mesmerizing. I was enthralled. I was pushed and pulled into a direction. And it just led me on this journey of really helping my community and my industry, because I talk to hairstylists. I talk to the women that actually do the work, actually do the braids and manicure the hair and create the curls. And it wasn't just for me a job, but a passion and a desire to actually elevate the conversation of self-care and self-esteem. So that for me it was just like all the pieces came together when the Crown Act came.
That's powerful to hear. I mean, because you know what it's like from a practitioner standpoint, but then you also know what it's like from your own individual experience. Thank you so much. I'm going to throw that same question to you, Danielle. Why was it important for Jack and Jill to be a part of the Crown Coalition and support the Crown Act?
Well, we heard the stories just a lot like the young man was talking about. I think that our children were being discriminated against, and many of us didn't know. I think we're desensitized to racism. This is leftover from Jim Crow. Don't forget, they shaved our heads when we came over from slave ships. They didn't want us to have any ounce of knowledge about ourselves so that we could have self-esteem about ourselves, to be able to think well of ourselves. And I know when we heard those stories about our children, they were being discriminated against, whether it was at school, whether it was in activities for them in sports, we knew we had to act. And I love our children, especially our teens, because it was through their voice that they said no more. And I always am reminded that it's in this generation that I believe the change is going to come. And I didn't think we had to stop. I heard what Diane said. It is liberating to be able to be free to be exactly who you are. And when you are who you are, it then helps with your confidence. Absolutely. And wrong. So that we've been able to work in all of our 247 chapters along all of our states from Alaska all the way to Florida. And we are determined, as our kids are and we are, we're going to change this. And very excited.
I love it. I love it. And your enthusiasm and passion, I mean, it's contagious, Danielle. But as I think about, young people, even just speaking with Trey earlier, and, on National Crown Day, we spoke with Faith, the young lady from New Orleans. It can be so damaging. So now to have young people to come to the forefront and say, no more, not for me. This is not what's going to happen to and for me. And to be a part of the solution is just really powerful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alicia, I would love to ask the same question of you. Why was it important for AKAs to support the Crown Act? And even if you want to share a little bit of your natural hair journey or your hair journey.
That's wonderful. Well, first and foremost, I have a lovely teenage daughter who Danielle is also a member of Jack and Jill, who has a head full of beautiful natural curls. And then on behalf of our international president, Dr. Glenda Glover, I've also had the pleasure of implementing and executing a leadership development program for undergraduate members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And basically meeting and interacting with these fabulous young ladies from all around the world with all different hair types. I think it is important to just let them be the natural, intellectual beauties they are, free to express their beauty through their crowns. So it was just very personal. I also remember one of my sorors, Dr. Benita Coe, asking me one time, she wore her hair like you, Ty, and said, when's the last time you were natural? And I had to think about it. I was like, wow, I've had a perm since, I don't know, 13 years old. And then I just like, why am I putting the chemicals in my hair? And I just stopped. And like AC said earlier, you don't even know that you could feel so free, you know, by just going natural. So that's kind of our journey with AKs and me personally.
Wonderful.
Alicia, I'm laughing at you because I'm thinking, clearly you must be under 50 because you haven't had no gray hair. When you get the gray hair, they ask you, is it perm or color? Make your decision.
No, they say that still. They say that still.
It's always about the health.
It's always about choose one. But I must tell you, Alicia, I've worn my hair every which way. I wore a pixie for many years, relaxed, unrelaxed. You know, I've worn braids, weaves. I've done it all. There's nothing. This has been, you know, short of cutting it all off, which I'm tempted to do at times. This has been the most freeing, just to have the braids and not have to worry about it. And so I'm so grateful to be able to be in this community where we honor that, you know, where we recognize that as being a part of our crowns. So each of your organizations has supported the work that the Crown Act is doing in different ways. How are the members of your individual organization supporting the work of the Crown Act? Who wants to start?
Well, we have an event that comes up annually, the Natural Hair Convention, and the convention we always support the Crown Act. So this year we're going to be doing it again in November. It's specifically going to be dealing with men and natural hair and their perspective. We're also going to be talking to a lot of the millennials around their education and natural hair, because we're finding that there are schools, again, we've gone through this, that look at their hair as other and diminish them in so many ways so that they can't even get to the next level because they have to change their hair in order to be seen in that school environment. So we're taking it on. We're taking it on. I'm in New York. This is real for me. We have a high concentration of young people with natural hair. We're taking it on, and I'm so proud to be a part of this coalition.
Thank you so much. I love what you said about bringing men into the conversation too. As we saw with Trey, you know, it's not just women that experience this, Black women that experience this, but I also think the more noise we make collectively, the more we'll be able to advance legislation going forward. Danielle, why don't you share? It's always like, I love that you started smiling. Why don't you share how Jack and Jill in the organization is supporting the work?
Well, we've been supporting by doing all of the petitions, and I think our young people have really been liberating other individuals. As you know, we wear our hair all different ways, and you heard Alicia talk about her daughter. I think that has also come into play. I think the other aspect is changing our young men. They have been desensitized to what they see on television, and they believe long hair, you all know, come on with me. And getting our men to say, come on, natural is beautiful. I remember being at a teen conference and hearing a young man go to a young lady who had her hair was so beautiful. And he said, you are beautiful.
Wow.
And I just smiled because I said, you get it. Now I have 3 daughters, come on over here. I think that we have been at the forefront, and our children really been doing it with all of the campaigns that they have. And also, especially before COVID, and even after being able to talk to their peers about what it is in natural hair. And quite frankly, they have been the liberators of the ones that we are modeling because they're wearing the hair. Absolutely. And they are telling us as moms, you can do it too. And so they've been the ones that have been helping us, and I've seen that difference. Now I live in Virginia. You all know about Virginia. Now we did turn blue, but I'm so happy that in my state, just like New York. We also did the baby, and I'm so happy that we were able to do that too. So they're going to do it in every state. We're in a lot of states to be able to make sure that every state has that the legislation is passed. So I'm really happy with what we're doing.
Danielle, you brought up a really important point that I just want to, shed light on, and for everyone, there's still time to sign the petition. So go to thecrownact.com. We need everyone involved. Continue to have those petitions signed, and thank you so much for all of the work that you're doing. Alicia Spearman, would you please share with us how your organization, the AKAs, are involved in advancing the work of the Crown Coalition?
Well, AKAs, Alpha Kappa Alpha, is extremely proud to be an original signature supporting the Crown Act. That's first and foremost. But also our members have been working with their state legislators and governors in introducing Crown Act legislation and advocating for the passage of this important act. In particular, I'm in Connecticut, for example, and we've been advocating for statutory protection for hair textures and styles in the Fair Employment and Housing Act and state education codes. And so we're just kind of mobilizing all around. Connecticut's a blue state too, Danielle, and we're hoping that our governor, he's been listening to us. People have been going up on the Hill and testifying, and we've been joining other local organizations, something you said earlier, Ty, partnership with the YMCA, YWCA, the Links, Jack and Jill, so forth and so on, because the more voices they hear, the more they'll listen to us. But it's vital to us, and we're happy to be part of this movement.
One of the things that I've shared with AC and Kelly at Joy Collective and the team there, when we talk about the Crown Coalition and what is so dynamic, even what we see during this day, is the fact that partnership really crosses all industries, all sectors, all communities. And that's really, really powerful to see. What are you mentioned YWCA? What are some of the other partnerships, Diane, that you're leaning into in order to advance the Crown Coalition?
Well, we partner with the Natural Hair Industry Convention, which encompasses barbers, locticians, hair braiders, everyone that's in the industry, but not just about natural hair. We're incorporating cosmetologists too. Now, even though they deal with chemical services, we want to embrace all people, because that's the whole issue. They always used to separate and make it as though there was a hierarchy of beauty. And what we're saying is there is no hierarchy, that all hair is beautiful. And so with that, we are embracing many people from different areas of hair care and skincare and beauty in total, to really address the issues, the psychological, the historical. We talked about earlier a little bit about Jim Crow, and educating people around Jim Crow so that they can understand that this does not happen in a bottle. It happens over a period of years. And when people come into the salon and want to transition into natural, some of them are literally crying in your arms, literally fearful of what their parents, their husband, their job, or whatever judgment might be going on. So the Crown Act is not only creating a pathway for jobs, but it's really a pathway for healing. It's a pathway for healing. And that's how we look at it, and that's how we engage our community. That's how we engage our industry, so that these women are not just doing hair, but they are doing minds, bodies, and spirit.
Ooh. Yeah. That is so powerful, Diane. And I literally felt that. And in that moment, I reflected on what it felt like when my grandmother used to plait my hair and braid my hair, and how it was about honoring me as a person. So as we continue to celebrate, Crown Day, New York State edition, thank you all for being with us. Thank you for the work that you continue to do. We have more states to go, but I know with powerful women like you at the forefront and at the helm pushing things forward, we will get there.